Welcome back to Silver Linings at Home. My name is Chrissy and I am here to guide you through 30 minutes of soothing stretches. Today we're going to be opening up the side body, the back body and lower back, and also the hips, leaving you feeling nice and open, nice and calm, and nice and centered, I hope. So what do you need? Well, simply a mat or a towel on the floor. You could also grab a cushion or perhaps a folded towel, especially if you're tight in the hips. And do also grab either a yoga strap, or if you don't have one of those at home, just your dressing gown belt will be perfect because it will give you a little bit of assistance to find those deeper hamstring stretches. Now do also make sure that your device is in a spot where you can see me when you're standing, seated and lying down. We'll be doing all three. And as we move into the center of the space, please make sure that you can hear me clearly and that you have all those bits and bobs ready. Good, let's go ahead and take a really lovely, nice wide stance with the toes pointing forward, a little micro bend at your knees, but a sense of lift through the core. So you want to draw the spine long right away and just bring one hand to the belly and the other to your heart. Once you're there, you can take a little shrug of the shoulders, maybe close your eyes or just take a low and long gaze. And we'll start with a couple of deep breaths to arrive on the mat. So take a breath in through the nostrils, really draw that breath into the lungs, feel the ribs expand. And then exhale all the air out. You can exhale through the mouth or the nose, that's really up to you. You could even make an audible sighing sound. Once more, we take a deep breath in. Feel the hand lift, the one that's on the heart, feel the hand on your belly rise forward. And then exhale all the air out. Imagine you're wringing out every last drop of oxygen from those lungs. One more deep, soothing, calming breath right here. So inhaling deeply, drawing the breath in. Taking a momentary hold just at the top and then exhale it all the way. You can just gently open those eyes now if you closed them, and we'll start to breathe a little more fluidly. So reaching the arms wide, take a deep breath in. Draw your gaze and chest up, open those arms right behind you, and then exhale, it's a curve of the spine. You can deepen the bend in the knees and just hug the arms around your head. Once more, inhaling, straighten the legs, open the chest, broaden and widen the arms, gorgeous, expansive movement, and then exhale, we curve, and it's a deep C curve of the spine. You can bend a little deeper and hug the head. One more time, inhale, open wide, gorgeous stretch for the chest and pectoral muscles. And then as you come forward, just interlace those fingers, gently push the palms away from you, let the head drop into that little space. From there, we'll take a gorgeous figure of 8, so nice and generous, all the way over to the left, all the way over to the right. And this will be our first exploration of those little side body bends. Lower back might also be feeling a little resistant. So just explore. We're going to be doing a lot of these, and I promise that by the end of our little practice together, it will be feeling more open and eased. Good. From there, go ahead and lift all the way up. And just take a little shrug of the shoulders and then maybe just open the chest. Beautiful. And then from that point, we'll come back up to center. We're going to catch the right wrist with our left hand. So you're taking a little hold and then flip the right palm to the sky. Take a second to shrug the shoulders down and then side reach over to the left. So you're thinking of pushing the walls of your space away with that right palm. And then from that side stretch, inhale, and as you exhale, roll the right shoulder forward, simultaneously bend the right knee. I kind of think this makes you look a little bit like Elvis, if that makes you feel cooler. And then go ahead and come back into the side bend, extending back through that right leg. Let's do that 2 more times. So inhale in your side reach, exhale, it's a rolling forward of the right shoulder, deep bend in the right knee. And then back to your side bend. Last time here, we're going to take a breath in, exhale, roll that shoulder and knee forward, and from here bend both knees and sweep down towards the floor. So we're in a forward fold. I invite you there to capture the opposite elbow with your hand, then nod the head, shake the head, get rid of any tension in your neck. Let the crown of the head float towards the floor, but keep a deep bend in the knees as much as you need, and then we'll start to explore a little figure of 8 right here.
So we bend one knee more than the other and we move the spine right to left, drawing a little figure of 8, that infinite sign with our elbows effectively. Good, and try to release any tension in the facial muscles here. Maybe the jaw is tight. And feel how those hamstrings get a little more extended with each circle. Gently stopping that movement at the center, you can let the hands drop. The arms and head are going to stay nice and heavy. Your knees will stay nice and soft. And then hollow the abdominals lightly and start to roll up to standing. Imagine the upper body is just completely relaxed and heavy. And then you're hollowing those abs and really mindfully stacking one vertebra on top of the other as though there were a glass wall behind you. The last thing to lift will be your gaze and the crown of the head. Beautiful. Let's take that whole sequence to our second side. So sweep the arms up. This time it's the right wrist catching your left wrist. So right hand catches left wrist. Push the left palm to the sky, but simultaneously shrug the shoulders down. So there's a little cavity, a little space between your earlobes and your arms. And then go ahead and reach across to that right side. The arms are extended, the legs are extended, but not locked. Inhale deeply, maybe push a little further. Imagine you could push that wall away. Good. And then as you roll the left shoulder forward, you bend the left knee, getting that asymmetric stretch, now radiating into the lower back. And then side reach. Good. Inhale there. Exhale, curl and rotate. And then come back into your side reach. Last time here, we're going to curl and rotate. And from that rotation, simply sweep all the way down towards the floor, catching opposite elbow with hand. Again, a little shake of the head, perhaps just to release any tension. Keep the knees soft, but maybe they're a little more elongated than they were that first time. You can go a touch deeper. And we're taking our gentle figure of 8. So we're shifting weight between right and left foot and drawing a kind of infinite figure of 8 with those elbows. Good. Breathing as you go, and maybe just exploring a slightly deeper hamstring stretch. And from there, we'll gently again let the hands fall to the floor. Weighty head, weighty hands. No tension in those arms. Hollow the abdominals, keep the head heavy, and gently stack bone on bone, vertebra on top of vertebra, lovingly rebuilding your spine. And as the head lifts, open collarbones wide. Beautiful. From there, we'll go a little wider with those feet. And we're coming into a side lunge. So bending into your right knee, your left leg is going to stay nice and long. And you're pushing your hands just on top of the knee. As you melt into that side lunge, you're going to start to feel an inner thigh stretch, probably on that left side. Good. And from here, we can go a little deeper with our spinal movement. But if this feels enough, you could stay right here. If you want a little more, you're going to reach the hands forward and then walk them across to the right side and bow your head. So you should be feeling that lovely stretch now also into the spine as well as the inner thigh. Maybe a little work going on in that right thigh. Good. Breathe here for a moment. Allow the head to release. Nice. And then gently walk back up onto the knee. And we'll switch sides. So coming over to the left knee, deep bend in that left knee, side lunge, getting now the right inner thigh. Take a little roll of the shoulders and then you can stay right here. That's perfect. If you wish to go deeper, we're spider fingers forward and then walk them across, this time to the left side, bowing the head. Let it go heavy. Breath into the side and back body, easing there. Good. And then when you're ready, just gently walking the hands back up to the knees. We'll heel toe the legs in a little. And again, we're going to walk the hands down, this time capturing the ankle with your hand. Take a firm grip, bend the knees as much as you need. And I'll show you this in profile or on the angle. We're trying to draw the crown of the head towards the ground and melt the chest towards the thighs. I like to rock my weight a little into the balls of the feet to see if I can really point those sit bones up to the sky. Now you may be miles up here, in which case you can hold the shins, no problem. You just want to find that point of connection where you can pull yourself just a little bit deeper into that forward fold. And again, you could nod the head, shake the head, just get rid of any tension. Beautiful pull now. So staying centered, staying actually nice and still, although there's a lot going on, of course, those hamstrings, and really where the hamstring inserts right into the glute, getting a great stretch. Beautiful. From there, let the hands come forward, and without it having to look like anything, come to a seated position. Good. Take a little shoulder roll. And then if you know that you're tight in the hips, it really helps, and there is no shame in this. Please grab a towel, grab a cushion, and come and sit on it, because it just gives you a little bit of a riser, and it will really help to ease those hip flexors. So we're coming to a seated position. I'll show you how that will look. You'll just be sitting at the front edge of your cushion or towel, and as I say, it just gives you a little lift. For those of you who don't need it, don't feel that you have to work with it. And we're going to come into a folded position. So my right shin is in front of my left, and I'm trying to sort of come to two right angles. So not the kind of sitting in gym class at school, but actually two right angles, and then flexing the feet back gently. From that point, we'll reach the arms back, chest opens, and exhale, curl forward, just like we did standing. And exploring again a little spinal chest opening, and then the curve. Good. One more time, inhale, open. Exhale, forward. And again, you're going to interlace the hands, scoop out the belly as you twist those palms away from you, and make it a nice generous figure of 8. Sweeping side to side, but keeping the sit bones rooted into the mat or into your cushion, into your towel. Nice. Do one more. And from that point, lift up tall. Take a shrug of the shoulders, lift the chest and gaze. Release the fingers, but keep the chest open and float the hands all the way back. Now, some of you may just want to have the fingers planted and just lift the chest. My fingers are pointing towards my seat, and you're lifting up through the chest. That's option 1. Option 2, you can slide the knees a little wider and then rock up and onto your shin bones, tucking the pelvis under and pushing the hips forward, and you get this amazing hip opening. I'm really active here in my abdominals, so I'm not arching. It's a tucking action and a pushing action. And if you found it, you'll know there's like a sweet spot. Beautiful. From that point, gently sit it back and take a little shake of those fingers in case they took a bit of the brunt. So let's now change legs. So you're going to bring that left foot in front. Remember, you're aiming for a right angle rather than just a regular crossed position. If you need to adjust your towel or your cushion back, please do so. And once you're in position again, and I'll show you the other side, we're going to go ahead and take that chest expansion as you inhale. Exhale, curls you forward. So it's like a seated cat and cow, but we're getting that additional opening of the chest. And if you bend your elbows and push them behind you, you get this great little opening for your chest muscles. If you did lots of press-ups in HIIT this week, or you joined me for bar, they might be a little tight. Good. Now interlacing the hands, let's scoop out the belly as you curve the spine back with your arms and palms press forward. Again, generous figure of 8, keeping the sit bones rooted, but moving the upper body smoothly, finding breath. Good, so nice. This is something you can do in your office, at your desk. Really good for releasing this tight lower, middle, and upper back. Good, and then come to the center, take a shrug of the shoulders and open your chest. That's step 1. Step 2, release the fingers and smoothly allow those hands to float behind you. Couple of options here as before. Fingertips are in towards your seat. Micro bend the elbows and lift your chest and just push back. So that's option 1, and that might feel like plenty. If you want to get into those hips again, just slide the knees slightly wider, so now it's your ankles that are crossed, and then go ahead and push up and onto your shin bones and knees, tucking the pelvis and pushing the hips. So it's not a back bend. I'll reiterate, it's really a tucking action, and then that pushing forward of the hips gives you that lovely opening for your hip flexors, and those little guys can get really tight. Many of us overuse them when we're doing our abdominal work, so it's really good to get that release, and then gently sit down. Again, take a little shake of those wrists, and
Now it's quite helpful if you do have tighter hamstrings to have your yoga strap or your dressing gown belt by your side. I'll keep it handy to show you how that works. So, going to bring our right leg out to the side. Just take a little flex and point, and as you do so, or a little circle, just bring that left heel in towards the groin. If you have knee problems, any tweaky pain there, just keep the leg a little further away from you. Good, and then we're going to hold on to our left foot or ankle with the right hand, and it's going to be the left hand that sweeps up and over. Good. And as you reach over, take a moment here to dial the shoulder backwards and let the head be heavy. The gaze can just rotate down to the knee, that's fine. From there, inhaling, and exhale, roll the shoulder forward. So it's that same action you had standing up. You'll feel the stretch radiate into the lower back, and then open the shoulder back again. Try to keep the ribs gently knitting together throughout these little sequence, rather than flaring the ribs. Now rocking that shoulder forward, and lifting back into the side bend. One more time forward. Good. And then gently up and sweep around. So we're going to bring that right leg now in front of us. I'll show you on the angle, but you can be facing directly to your device. So the left foot stays pretty much where it was. It's like a seated tree pose. Move the flesh of your right glute outwards. Lovely phrase, I know, but it means that you'll really feel that sit bone connecting to the floor beneath you. Bend your right knee, and this is where your strap will become handy. You can loop it right over the ball of the foot, and as you do so, pull on your strap and connect your chest to your thigh. From that point, we're going to start to slowly push that leg away from us. If you don't need the strap, by the way, you're just holding onto your foot and wrapping your elbows in around your calf muscle. And then as you push forward, your aim, your absolute goal is to keep your chest and your thigh connected. So if that's right up here, that's your spot, and you breathe there, pulling the toes back and bowing the head forward. If you can go a little deeper, you're keeping the chest connected, and then finding that deepest point. Hug the elbows in and around your knee and calf muscle, and let the head bow down as you drive the shoulders away from the ears. Your abs are lifting ever so slightly off that thigh, but your chest is connected. Good. Breath in here, big hamstring stretch. Good. Can you manage one more deep breath? I know. Breathe it all out. Good. And then softly and gently come up. Big stretch. Okay, so we're going to do that whole little sequence on our second side. Again, have the strap handy for the second part. You could also use it for the side stretch, but I find it better to actually find that traction by holding on. So your left leg has gone out to the side, and your right heel is now pressed in towards the groin. As I said before, if it needs to come a little further away to accommodate any knee issues, feel free to do that. My left hand is holding right foot and ankle. Sweep the right hand up and over, nice arc, and you're in your side bend. Take a moment here to just dial the shoulder back to find a true side bend. So you want to imagine there's a glass wall behind you and you can lean against it. From that point, keeping the shoulder connecting into the back, roll the right shoulder forward and find that sort of asymmetrical curve that gives you a little more radiating stretch into the lower back. Come all the way back to your side. Good. Two more like so. Exhale forward. Wow. Nice. And come back. Nice. Last time. And you can feel that kind of really opening up the lower back as well as those ribs. Come all the way up, and we'll dial that left leg in front of us now. And again, if it was helpful to use the strap, hook your strap over the ball of the foot, and then bend the knee and bring your chest and your leg to meet in the middle. So it's like a little sandwich. Now that sandwich is not going to separate. No, no. It's like one of those ones in a very grand hotel that's got one of the little sticks in it, and the stick is keeping it centered. In this case, it's your pulling action that is keeping your thigh and your leg connected, and your chest connected, I should say. Now you might find you're miles away from the ground, and that's okay. I want you to really work the flex of the foot and the hug of chest to quad. As you continue, some of you, go ahead and come a little deeper. If you don't need the strap, you're holding your foot, you're melting those toes towards the nose, and your nose is melting towards your shin bone, and your aim is to hug your elbows in and drive the shoulders down and away from your ears. Couple of breaths here, guys, and this is sometimes the hardest point where we have to maintain the stretch and try and stay with that breath. I know nobody really wants to stay here, but it is so beneficial. It is going to help you stay injury free, getting those tight hamstrings, big muscle groups released. One more breath, and then you're gently walking up. Beautiful. Okay, so that should be starting to feel quite eased in the lower back. We're now going to come and lie on our backs, and again, if the strap is something that helps you out, have it handy, and you'll go ahead and lie all the way down. So we're going to lengthen the right leg away from us, just give it a wiggle and pop your head up and check it's in line with your hip, so it's not having a holiday off to the right. And then we'll hug the left knee into the chest, wide elbows, easy shoulders, easy jaw and face. Make sure you're not poking the chin. If you need a little cushion behind your head, be my guest. Couple of little rolls of the knee here, just easing into that hip joint. Hopefully it's already starting to feel a little easier than it did at the beginning of our time together. And then we're going to be coming into a half happy baby. So my recommendation is either use your hand on the inside of your heel and melt the knee towards your armpit. The alternative, and you'll see why this could be helpful in a moment, is to hook your strap onto the arch of your foot and pull the foot towards the sky and knee towards your armpit. If that's a good option for you, and it may be, then stay with that one. If you don't have a strap, you're holding the inside of your heel. So wherever you are, take a couple of breaths here and maybe use the right hand to ground down that hip so you're not curling off the mat, your back of your pelvis is even. From there, we're going to start to extend the left leg out on a high diagonal. Now you might not go very far, but you're going to see how far you can go, keeping that foot flexed. If, like me, you're able to almost fully extend, again, check you're not rolling off your mat, you're staying centered. So I'm aiming for a high diagonal, but it might be here, it might be hardly extended at all. That's okay, as long as you're getting a deep hip opening. We'll do 2 more bend and stretch. So inhale, bend your knee back into your half baby. Exhale, extend the leg away, keeping that right hip grounded. Once more, last time we're going to come to a hold. So if you've got the strap, you can tighten your grip on the strap as much as you need to give yourself the right support. Good. Couple of breaths with that leg as extended as you can today. Beautiful breath. Again, it's a little bit of mind control, staying focused on that breath in those more challenging stretch sequences. Come all the way in with the leg, hug it in. Oh, that's a relief, huh? And then we're going to bring across the body. So the right hand is going to dial the left knee across your center, aiming to touch it all the way to the ground. For some of you, that will be enough of a spinal twist. If you're looking for a little bit more, you can extend the leg and again catch your ankle or the foot, and use this hand on the left to drive your left hip down and away. So you're almost thinking of elongating your waist. That sounds odd, but it's really effective, and you'll feel that whole fascia underneath the glute, the hip, everything opening. Once you're happy with that length, you can reach the left hand back, take your gaze to your little finger. If you're still in the bent position, you can use the hand gently on the outside of the knee to facilitate a slightly deeper twist. Good. And when you're ready, gently coming back to center, give that leg a little shake, let it go, and then we'll switch sides. I'll show you on the other side. So again, if you need the strap, make sure it's handy, and then let's keep that left leg long, nice and floppy. You can take your gaze and just check it's centered, and let's take the hands over the right knee and take a couple of circular movements here, just easing into the hip, allowing again the back of the pelvis to melt evenly into the mat. A couple more circles and then we'll take that half baby. So you're grabbing the inside of your heel if you're not using the strap. Your knee is melting into your right armpit and your heel is pressing to the sky.
If you're using your strap, again, you're going to hook it over the arch of the foot and take a firm grip with that left hand to facilitate that. Now we know what's coming, the extension. So I'll show you with the strap this side because it might be helpful just to have that visual. So you're hugging that elbow and knee towards each other, and from that point we're going to send the leg out long. So again, your hand could slide down the strap, but you can even use the other one to give you that kind of buoyancy, so you make sure this left hip isn't lifting off, it's gluing back down. Melt the knee and bend it back into your half baby. We'll do that 2 more times. So exhaling on a high diagonal is your aim. Think of energy through both heels. Keep that hip grounded on the left side. And gently fold back into your happy baby. Last time we'll hold for a couple of breaths. I know this is intense, so really try to make that breath your friend. Work for the deepest breath you can. We've already opened up those ribs a good deal, so there should be more space. Beautiful space. Good. And then as you come back in, you won't need that strap for the spinal twist, so go ahead and release that off. Hug the knee in. Use your left hand to draw your right knee across the body and melt it all the way down. See if you can reach all the way to the mat. If you can't, no problem. You could also use your cushion or towel under the knee. Some of you will have done this on the other side, so please match your second side to your first and reach the leg out long. So you're either going to catch your ankle or the outside of the right foot. I like to use the right hand just to drive the hip down and away, and wow, there's definitely lots of kind of soft tissue, fascia-like sensations going on there. By all means, close the eyes and kind of connect with those sensations. This is your body, and you can hear when it needs something or when it doesn't like something. But often those things that we don't like are the very stretches that we really need. So try to breathe into the space. One more breath. And then gently, gently, gently draw the knee back in. Give it a little love. And we're going to come to one little shoulder bridge just to open up again the front of the hips. So feet are parallel. You're aiming to almost brush your heel to your middle finger. Toes parallel and a gentle sense of hug between the knees. So imagine a wet sponge is right there. Lifting the tailbone off. So think of unpeeling your spine like you have sticky something on each vertebra. It's going to come unstuck with resistance. Once you're at the top, you can lift the hips a little higher if your lower back's feeling good, but keep that abdominal connection to support you. If you wanted to go ahead and interlace the fingers and then walk the shoulders underneath you a little more to deepen the posture, you can. And just check in with the feet. Is your even weight into the balls of the feet and the little toes. Again, you're squeezing an imaginary sponge and lifting the hips up to find that front body extension and opening. Also incidentally opening for your heart. Beautiful breath in, maybe close the eyes. Beautiful breath out. Any lower back issues, just come down a little and tuck under. That will get you out of that little compression. When you're ready, release the hands, and with real control, and I mean as slowly as you can, inhaling and then exhaling, curling first the ribs, the back of the hips, the tailbone. And there's this delicious moment when your spine just arrives. It feels longer, it feels better. I invite you to stay here either with the knees touching in this sort of steepled effect, which is your supported rest pose, or you can go all the way out to a Shavasana. Again, one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Let the elbows rest and let the breath draw deeply in, swelling the belly, swelling the heart, going all over the body as you acknowledge how the body now feels for the last few breaths. And as always with this class, those of you who are regulars, my invitation is to stay here and take the time you need, to take maybe a couple of minutes to just let the whole body melt into the mat. And gently ease out any strains and stresses and such. If you are needing to move on, really take your time to come out, so I'll do that with you. You'll take one knee and then the other to the chest, giving it a little hug. Then draw gently onto one side into your fetal position, always taking time. Imagine you're moving through syrup. And as you come to seated, always taking a second just to acknowledge where you've arrived.
How wonderful it is to give your body, your mind that moment of calm in what may otherwise have been a very stressful day or week. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining me, as always, here at Silver Linings at Home. It's always gorgeous to share time and enjoy these stretches together. I hope you feel soothed, and please take time to re-enter the world this evening or when you've finished your session. See you very soon.